Hello everyone, welcome to Everyday Shed. I'm Carlos. Today we're building a 6x10 shed, which is by far my favorite shed to build, not only because it's super approachable, but also if you take advantage of our project packs and build plans, you can save up to $2,000 by building a shed like this yourself. More on that later. First, let's get started on how to frame the floor. Just like every shed we build, we always start by laying out the floor joist. We secure the floor frame by driving 3 screws through the rim joist. This is going to create a nice strong foundation for the shed. And for this build, we're going to be using TuffBlocks. They're super lightweight, very strong, and makes leveling a shed super easy, especially having a gravel pad like what we have here. The floor on the 6x10 shed uses two 4x8 sheets of floor decking. Lucky I have one of these panel saws which makes ripping sheets quick, easy, and accurate. And here's a tip. When buying your lumber, bring a copy of your shed plans with you so you can ask the lumber yard to rip the floor decking for you. Most lumber yards will do this at no charge, and this will save you time and get you a perfect straight cut in the end. And before you start securing the floor decking, make sure the floor frame is perfectly square. The easy way to do that is by measuring both diagonal corners. If both are the same, your frame is square. Once everything is square, you can go ahead and start securing the floor decking. Now it's time to build our first wall, which is the back wall. This is by far the easiest wall anyone can build, and which is why I like to start with this wall. The studs here are going to be placed 24 inches on the center, making this layout simple and easy to follow. Once you build this wall, you have a good understanding on how to build every other wall. With the wall frame, it's time to sheet by installing LP SmartSiding. For a 6x10 shed, we're going to need 2.5 sheets to cover the back wall. When attaching the LP SmartSiding onto the wall frame, we want to leave 1.5 inch of overhang on the bottom. This is going to allow for the siding to overlap the floor framing, giving a clean look and covering up the floor decking. I use a piece of scrap of 2x4 to make sure the overhang is consistent. And before fastening the whole thing down, we want to make sure that the frame is square with the siding. Squaring up the siding with the wall will make it much easier to stand up and keep it plumb later. Once the first sheet is installed, repeat the process with the other two sheets. LP Smart Siding have an overlap and an underlap edge. Make sure those two edges fit correctly as you install each sheet. This keeps the grooves lined up and the wall clean and a consistent look. With all 3 sheets installed and everything nice and square, it's time to finish fastening the siding. Drive screws or nails every 12 inches along the studs in the middle of the wall, and around the edges and where the sheets meet, you need to drive every 6 inches. Perfect, our first wall is now complete. And before we moved on, let's caulk all the seams and the nail heads or screw heads and apply some paint. We'll talk about more painting in detail later on in the build. For the 6x10 shed, we do need to trim the siding a bit. I recommend you cutting the sheets before you paint them. In my case, I forgot and I paint them first, which means I had to wait for the paint to dry, and then afterwards there was some cleanup to do. If you want to avoid all this extra work, just make sure you cut the sheeting before you paint. Now it's time to stand up the wall. I like to use a temporary brace on the side while I work. A 10-foot wall is heavy, but can be done by one person. If you do have someone available, like a helping neighbor, make sure to ask for help. It is worth it. Once the wall is standing, secure the temporary brace onto the shed floor. This will keep the wall stable. Then start working on plumbing up the wall and making adjustments until you're satisfied. Once everything is plumb, it's time to secure the bottom plate to the floor by driving either 2 screws or 2 nails onto every stud location. The front wall is built almost the same way as the back wall. We start by laying out the studs and securing them to the top plate. And because we're limited with floor space, we leave the bottom plate for last. It gives a little more room to assemble the wall as you move along. It's time to sheet the front wall. For this shed, the front wall also becomes a door. So we're gonna lay out two painted LP SmartSide panels and trims on top of the frame. I use small stainless steel screws to attach the trim to the front of each panel. Repeat the process for both doors. We did cover this in details in other videos, so I won't spend much time here. If you like more details, you can go check those out, or you can check out our complete step-by-step guide on how to build this 6x10 shed at everydayshed.com.
So as Carlos finishes off the door, you're probably thinking there is a ton of materials, measurements, hardware that I'm not really familiar with. And that is where the build plans, a plan in your hand while you're building your shed, is gonna help you through each and every step in the process. And then with the project pack, you'll actually get the plan for free. And the project pack comes with a materials list that you can take down to your home improvement store and pick out your lumber. And then the quantities and materials you need that either you have to buy way too much of, like the synthetic underlayment cut to your size, two vents that are sometimes hard to find at your home improvement store, a double door kit that you're not even going to find at your home improvement store. This is the one that matches exactly to the design you're watching right now. And then your cap nails, roofing nails for your roof, and all the different screws with the lengths, coatings, types, and quantities you need, so you're not spending hours at the home improvement store guessing what you need. It all comes in the project pack, and you get your build plan for free. Just add the build plan to the cart with the project pack. You'll see the discount. The box lands on your door. Just add lumber and get to work.
Once the trim is in place, we finish securing it by driving screws from the back of the panel. This creates a much stronger connection and helps hold the trim over time. Then we flip the panels over. Now we have fully integrated a door onto our wall panels, and we're ready to secure those panels to the wall framing. Now it's time to attach the front wall panels to the wall frame. Our goal is to center the doors with the opening, leaving an even strip on each side. Take your time to align the doors and the siding before driving screws. And once you have everything aligned, go ahead and fasten all the sheets together. Once the panels are fastened to the wall frame, it's time to trim off the excess siding. I snap a chalk line first so I have a straight line that I can follow, and I cut it with a circular saw. Once you have this cut out, clean everything up and prepare for painting. Now it's time for one of my favorite parts, which is painting the shed. To make the job easier, I like to use a thick nap roller. I like using a half-inch nap roller because it works great on semi-rough surface like the LP SmartSide. It holds the paint and lets you cover the wall faster with just a single pass. While the paint is drying, we're gonna go ahead and install the door hinges. That way, once the wall is standing, all that there's left to do is cut the doors open. For this step, I recommend asking for help. The wall isn't extremely heavy, but it's awkward to leave because there's not much room to work with. And once the wall is standing, quickly add a temporary brace to hold it in place. Then you can take your time checking that the wall is plumb and making adjustments before screwing it down permanently. Then we have to install the rafters. We designed this roof to be simple to build. To install the rafter, you can simply drive one screw through the face of the rafter to hold it in place. Then we're gonna toe screw on each side of the rafter to lock it in. The nice thing about a 6x10 shed is that you only uses a 6 rafters, and this goes very quickly. Before we go any further, let's go ahead and cut the doors open. If you don't do it now, you end up trapping yourself inside the shed. And with the doors open, we can finally finish framing the doorway. We install one jack on each side and the two header plates above the opening. And once that's done, you can cut out the bottom plate that we no longer need. Next, we need to reinforce the doors. We install a 2x4 on the inside of each door to make it stronger and prevent from twisting over time. The position of the 2x4 is going to be about half an inch between the floor frame and the bottom of the 2x4 and half an inch between each door. This gives enough space for the door to open and close without rubbing. Once all of that is done, we're going to install the door hardware. We're going to install the spring-loaded barrel bolts that goes on top and bottom of the door and the hardware on the door itself that helps you close and lock the shed. The last step is building the two side walls. Since both walls are built exactly the same, I'll just show you how to build one of them. You start by framing the wall and lift it into place. Make sure it's plumb before you secure the wall to the front and back wall. With the side walls framed and standing, it's time to install the siding. I like to use a ledger board to support the siding while I install it to the wall. It's simply a 2x4 horizontal on the bottom of the floor frame. It holds the panel in place and it helps it line everything up as you attach it to the wall. With the siding installed, it's time to trim off the excess on the top. You can use a circular saw, sawzall, but I prefer using a palm router. It's much faster and it leaves a really clean cut. Just keep in mind that these does create a lot of dust, so be sure to be wearing your eye protection as you cut these. And finally, with the walls in place, it's time to paint the shed. For this design, we use 2x4 overhangs on both front, back, and also on the sides. When you install them, make sure they're positioned half an inch above the top of the rafters. This is going to create a pocket around the roof line where the roof decking will sit. Before climbing onto the roof, I always like to finish installing all the trim around the shed. You can always do this later, but I prefer to get all the ground level work done first. This roof uses a total of 2 sheets of roofing decking. And just like what we did early on the floor, I recommend you taking your build plans with you to the lumber yard and have them rip the sheets to size. Again, most lumber yards will do this for free, and this does save you a lot of time when installing the shed. And next, we'll install the drip edge around the entire roof line. After that, we have to install the synthetic underlayment. One thing to keep in mind is that most home improvement stores only sell you underlayment in large rows, far more than what you need for a shed of this size. And that's one of many benefits of our project packs. They include the exact amount of underlayment and nails so you can roof the shed that you're building and don't end up with extra material that you never use. With the underlayment installed, it's time to shingle the roof. Again, if you're using one of our project packs, you'll get the exact number of roofing nails you need for your shed, whether you install this with a hammer or if you can borrow a roofing nail from a friend or neighbor, we also have nails for you. Before you celebrate finishing your shed, don't forget the one last step, which is installing the vents. Place them at the highest point of your shed so the hot air, moisture, any fumes can escape. This is a highly recommended step for every shed that you build. And now that you finished building your shed, it's time to start using it. But before you do, you may want to build some shelving on the inside. If that's what you want to do next, I'm going to leave a video for you right here. If you want to build a smaller version of the same shed, there's a video for you right here. Hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.